Hey friends, welcome to a very, very long overdue episode of GemmaDarling Daily. I don't even know if you remember me. Anyone remember me? You in the back. Yes, I am GemmaDarling. I am Danielle, and this is GemmaDarling Daily, which is never daily. So if you are just tuning in, thank you for coming to my channel to talk about yarn and just overall knitting and crochet wonderment. I have not podcasted since March. Every time I say this, I laugh because when Christy was me on that Halloween episode, she nailed me. So whenever I go through this spiel, I feel like I'm a parody of like myself. But anyway, I have been looking for an SD card to start the podcast for about an hour. So my bangs are like all in disarray. I had done my makeup, my hair, everything was good. I felt nice. I felt clean, which is something I don't often feel during this pandemic. I'm going to be honest with you. And yeah, I dyed my hair. I cut my hair. I just felt like really nice. I was like, let's put this on camera. And then I couldn't find an SD card. And so that was fantastic. And, then I lost it. And then my anxiety set in, then my heart palpitations. I'm going, oh, I can't do this today, because I'm Italian and we were a little over dramatic. And so I'm glad it's happening. Anyway, thank you all for returning and coming back to my channel. And thank you for the well wishes in, hoping that another episode would come out. I really do appreciate the community that's been fostered around my love of knitting and your love of knitting. We're all going through something still. We're in the midst of this pandemic, which should be over. At this point, it's like watching people, I think someone wrote this on Instagram, it was like watching someone stand outside and watch their house burn down while they're holding a hose and that they're not turning it on. And I think that like really sums it up. It's like we have the vaccines, we could be doing things. Every time the numbers go down, they take the mask mandates away, they take the social distancing away, then the numbers go up. It's like, don't take them away. If we have to wear masks for the next 3 to 5 years to get rid of this, it's really a small price to pay considering what's going on in some of the hospitals right now. So I'm going to turn this off. Yeah, my husband was trying to help me find the SD card, so he probably wants to know if the one he gave me works, and I found one. I did. At the bottom of the crochet bag that I had all the yarn that I was using for that blanket that I made for Franny, which still needs the ends woven in. Anyway, where have I been? Let's talk about that for a couple minutes before we go into this. I've been gardening. I wanted to set up this huge garden this summer because the kids really love it. But we've been waiting to get our driveway done. Our driveway is a torn up mess. And so we share a driveway with our neighbor, and I love our neighbors so much. And we finally just kind of came together and said, the people across the street got their driveway done, and we were like, let's do that. And it's really, really nice. And so the driveway guy kept pushing back the date, and then we had like a tornado that went through my town, basically like through my backyard. And I'm in Jersey. North Jersey hardly gets tornadoes. That's a very strange thing. And we had this 100-year-old tree in my backyard. I mean, 4 people couldn't hug it. It was that big. It was beautiful. And as the tornado was like about to go through, I said to my husband, maybe we should get that tree taken down. I don't like to take down trees. We get them checked, but... And he looks at me, he comes in from walking the dog, and he goes, yeah, that tree's not a problem anymore. And it fell on the house behind us. And luckily no one was hurt. It was just a little bit of roof damage, but I mean, so scary. All this stuff that's happening. I mean, tornadoes in New Jersey, not normal. So anyone wants to tell me climate change is not real and all this stuff is not coming from that, yeah, you can blow it out your ass. I had a tornado in my backyard. Then, let's see. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm sure I've talked about it. I suffer from extreme anxiety, and I really have been trying not to medicate for it, and just try to figure out, like, really where it's coming from and deal with the problem so that it will go away. It's not going away. It's getting worse. I'm sure it's been exacerbated by a pandemic, watching everyone what they're going through. I don't know. So I'm going to have to deal with that, but couple months ago, like maybe about 5 months ago, I was getting one of my really heavy cast iron pots. We have this baker's rack, and I was picking it up. And it's heavy, so you kind of have to like pick it up. And we have a baker's rack, and it's like marble around like waist length. It's a marble top. And I hit my back of my head on it so hard. Like so hard that my husband's face had this like face of terror. And I went down to the ground real slow just in case like I fainted or something happened. Because I was like, wait, you know when you like hurt yourself and you're like waiting for it to hurt and it takes a split second? It never hurt. And it was so weird because I cracked my head like right above the brainstem, like right up. I cracked it. And I actually cracked my head. You sound like crack, you know, when you hit it. And ever since then, I was getting these really, really bad, like the blood was just rushing to my head. It was like a new form of anxiety. I don't know if it happened because I hit my head or this and that. Usually I just get heart palpitations and I can't breathe, like right now. Okay. I haven't done this in a while. I'm just really out of practice. Maybe I'm nervous. I don't know. But yeah, so anyway, my anxiety's just been manifesting so strangely. And, you know, I'm someone who, me and my family, we locked down really hard. We are risk-adverse people, as my husband likes to say. Like, I see people going out to, like, yarn festival. I see people going out to dinner. We don't do any of it. We're comfortable at home, but upset that we're staying home, but not brave enough to break that seal. So that's what we've been doing. And we order everything and we stay home. We go for walks in the neighborhood. We go for drives. We go to my parents' house. You know, like, so like we're not like, you know, but I did seal the front door with painter's tape so that the kids would not open the front door to anyone. And that has been sealed for 1.5 years. So if that's not neurotic, I don't know what is, but you know, I also have to give myself a little bit of grace. It's what I'm comfortable with. And that's okay. It's okay to be scared of a virus hurting your unvaccinated children. It's okay of being scared of a virus that is morphing to start hurting children. And it is scared to be, it is okay to be scared that you live in a country where 50%, well, not 50%, half the voting population, which is about 25%, think the virus isn't real, that it's not hurting anyone, or that they don't have to wear masks, or that they don't have to get vaccinated. It is okay to be afraid of that. And I'm just saying that because if you're in the same boat that I am, give yourself some grace. It's okay to be afraid of that. It's not something that seems to be changing, but I don't know. Even our former president himself told everyone to get vaccinated and they booed him. He created this Frankenstein monster that he can't even control anymore. So that's great. On other notes, let's see. Franny is to be starting kindergarten in a 1.5 weeks. And when this pandemic started, my husband and I were kind of like, okay, you know, she's almost 4. We'll take her out of preschool. I can teach preschool at home, but this should blow over and be done by the time kindergarten starts. So she'll have that kindergarten experience. And I can't send her. I can't do it. So, I've gotten the curriculums from the town. My mother and I are buying the books that we need. And luckily my mother is a retired kindergarten teacher. She was such a fantastic teacher that she worked with Franny all last year, and Franny can read. So I am okay. I know that that's not all what kindergarten is. I'm very upset that she's not going to be with other students. We went to the orientation. She was so happy with the other kids. And I do feel like, I don't know if I'm making the right decision, but this is the decision my husband and I, and like both sets of grandparents have said this is not a bad decision. And so I'm kind of just going with that. You know, in the royal scheme of things, like, I don't want to ruin the foundation to her education, but her health and safety are so important above all else. So I am going to be a kindergarten teacher this year. And I don't take that lightly because I think teachers have a very difficult job. They don't get paid correctly. They don't get the, you know, best benefits anymore. And no one ever gives them the credit they deserve for creating a population of wonderful kids and wonderful humans. And so, you know, everything starts with education. And so we have an area of our house that we had, it was like 8 by 8. And it was like, our house was like a panhandle on the back. And so we built this was like a couple years ago. We built this little 2-story addition. It's like a mudroom and a bathroom upstairs with like a little like office, and it has become treehouse school because when it was all boarded up when they were first building it, it looked like a treehouse, so we called it the treehouse, and now it is treehouse school. So I will be teaching at treehouse school this year. And I am having panic attacks over it. I think like most parents, we're so nervous about ruining our children. I can only hope that I'm teaching them to be good people. So I am not going to Rhinebeck or New Jersey Sheep and Wool. I'm really upset about it. I actually love New Jersey Sheep and Wool because it's small. And, you know, around Rhinebeck had morphed into this thing where there are all these things. There used to be India Untangled and then Rhinebeck, and now there's like India Untangled. There was Needles Up, which I don't know if they're doing that this year. I haven't been following along. I think they locked, Chelsea and Sue, I think they locked down pretty hard like we did. And then now there's the Cake-a-Palooza. Cake-Palooza is going to be, and Cake Wool is one of my favorite brands. I love Alyssa, so I wish you well on that. That's going to be fantastic. And I'm not sure what else. I'm just not sure what else is going on. I believe that String Things Studio is sponsoring something, so look into that. I really should have done my homework more to let you guys know what's going on if you are going to Rhinebeck, but I'm just not going. So I kind of wanted to stay away because I was getting jealous. Just if you're going to go, please be vaccinated. Please wear a mask, and not a cloth mask. I've really come to believe that the KN95s that you can buy on Amazon, they are just the best. And put a cloth mask over it. But please wear something that's surgical, that seals around your face really well. Please. And we have to keep each other safe, because if we don't, no one else is. That's what I've learned this year. Okay, so, do you guys want to go into yarny goodness? You want to hear any more about me? Okay, let's do that. So, I have a lot of whips. I have not finished anything. I have a lot of whips. I actually have not been knitting so much. The past couple months, I really tried to be there for my kids. If they're stuck in the house, it was a nice summer. So we have this bouncy house water slide thing that has the blower, and we were in the backyard and they were sliding down it, and it was a lot of fun. I tried to teach Franny how to swim. She is petrified. And I was a lifeguard. Swimming is my thing. And she's petrified. So I'm, at some point, because our neighbors had an above ground pool they bought this year, and if they used it a lot, they're going to get an in-ground one. And they said, come over anytime. So they went away for a weekend, and my husband and I were gingerly trying to just make her float on her back. She's not afraid to go in the pool. She doesn't know how to swim, because we were just about to put her in swim lessons when the pandemic started, and then we didn't know, lockdown, do what? We just haven't known. I'm making a bunch of wrong decisions in my life, but I'm making the decisions I need to make for me. So I judge no one else. Please don't judge me. But yeah, this was the summer I wanted to teach her how to swim. We joined the pool and we never went. So that was a waste of money, and I'm really upset that we did that. But there were 400 or 500 people there every day, and we were I can't social distance in the bathrooms and the this and that. And I just didn't feel like I could keep anyone safe. So anyway, whips. So this is a whip you have seen a lot, and I have decided which way to go with it. So let's talk about this. This is my Portage cardigan, and yes, the Portage cardigan that I knit, the honeycomb's all crooked, and that I'm kind of angry with it, and I kept putting it down, but I did so much work on it. It's the honeycomb back is really, it takes a long time to do if you're not someone who can really sit and knit for a long time each day. And it's definitely crooked. I mean, you can see it, but I think I can kind of block it into submission. So I am going to finish it. I love the yarn. It's, what is it called? Please, I can't remember. Is it called Buried Alive? That's maybe it. Buried Alive by Lamb Strings. It's just a really, really beautiful yarn. And I want the sweater. I want it. I think it's going to be too small on me. So again, block it into submission. But I couldn't figure out what to do with the bind off. It told me to measure 7 times the bind off length and then cut the yarn so that I could do the sewn bind off. I did the 2 prep rows, whatever. And I cut it before I did the prep rows. So when I did the prep rows, it used up my 7 lengths, and then I didn't think I had enough to do the sewn bind off, and I didn't want to add more yarn in the middle of it. So I am going to take out the prep rows. So they're like a bunch of like slip stitches. You can't really see it. And it would have looked so nice because it really gives you this end that it just looks like the knitting just stops. You know, there's no like weird seam. But I want this sweater. And this is a sweater I would make again. Absolutely. And instead of using DK, I think I would use worsted and go up one size and make it more like a grandpa sweater, like a little bit bigger. But it's really a gorgeous pattern. And again, like, if you haven't started your Rhinebeck sweater, I don't think you could knit this well, maybe in a month and a half you could knit this if you're a great knitter, but it's beautiful. And it has this big collar on it that folds back into pockets. And I know I've talked about this 1,000 times. I just want to finish this damn sweater off. So I'm going to I'm going to pick out those 2 rows, and I'm going to do the Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy Bind Off. And I'm going to go down 2 needle sizes for it. So I'm using a 7. I think I'm using a 7. Oh no, what am I using? What is that? Oh, that's a 5. Because I was using a 5 for the ribbing. I can't go down further than that. Well, maybe I'll go down to a 4. I don't know. Because I want it to be tight. So the stitches look tight, because Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy Bind Off, it's a great bind off. It's really stretchy. It leaves a little bit of a seam. I don't really like that, but whatever. I just want to finish this sweater. Sometimes it's a little puffy because you're using yarn overs to make it stretchy. So I'm going to go down a needle size so that it's a tight looking bind off, but it still has those yarn overs. So hopefully it will stretch a little bit. That is my hope. And I'm going to put a lifeline in it. And if it doesn't work, I will try something else. But in the meantime, I am going to get these sleeves going because that is something that I can do. And so I'm going to do that. Now, the problem is I don't remember what size needle I used for this. And I don't think I left the needle in my knitting bag like I should have. I think I used it for something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at pictures of when I was in the hospital having Sammy, because this is when I was working on this initially, and I took a lot of pictures of my knitting during that. So maybe I can figure out what needle I was using. I think it was a 7. I think I just used what the pattern called for. I could be wrong. It could be a 6. So I'm going to figure that out. That's always fun, right? Because my sleeves will just look gargantuan compared. Let's see, needles, 7. 6 circular needles, don't know what that's for. 5 needles. Okay, so I was using exactly what they told me. So that's what I'm going to do. And hopefully at some point I am going to finish this, block the living hell out of it, and then I'm going to actually wear it. How's that? Yeah, wearing things you knit, not something I'm used to. So you're going to go back into your wonderful bag from Woodsy and Wild. We rise by lifting others. I firmly believe that, and I try to live by this. And in a pandemic where everyone seems to be, well, not everyone. I think everyone that is in our community is really, really promoting like vaccination and, you know, social distancing and trying to help others. But those that aren't are really, really, it's weighing on me. You know, it's just really weighing on me. So anyway, that is whip number 1. Whip number 2 is in my Woolwich bag by the incomparable Shelly Can, and I love this logo. I love it. I think it's great. And this is the Carnival shawl. And I've been working on the Carnival shawl for a while, so you're probably going to be like, really, Dan? Again, could you goddamn finish something? Because I'd like something new to watch. Well, no. So, obviously, I can't do that or I would. So these are the colors that I'm using, and then this is the 4th color. And it's going to be this shawl with 4 different colors. That's why I guess it's called a Carnival shawl, because it's a little bit clowny, but in like a good way. And you really are just knitting 4 parallelograms and then taking like, you know, a 3 needle bind off and sewing them all together, and you'll have this big parallelogram with fringe on it. I feel like it's just something comfy, cozy, and squishy to wrap around my neck. And, you know, it's like more of a spring shawl. And so these are my colors. I finished, this was my 4th color. I don't think I had knit any of this last time I had shown you, so I did spend the summer doing that. And again, I have 2 small children, so to knit a fingering weight, it takes me a while. This is Machete Shop in Sangria. Really, really cool color. I actually bought more of it because sometimes when I use a skein that I love, I immediately rebuy it. And maybe it'll sit in my stash forever, but I always feel like if the yarn dyer stops making it, like I will be real upset that I didn't grab it. On another note, I've been working on, this is Hedgehog Fibers and Spell, and I've been working on that. I've been working on that section. So what I also do is I have these knit collage scraps, and I put them on the little light bulb stitch markers, and I use them for my right side, wrong sides, because they're like really, really light and they don't weigh it down at all. So I just tie them in little bows. I also put it on a hair clip the other day and put it in Sammy's hair. So they're very cute. She has like a knit collage bow. It's adorable. So that's whip number 2, and that will probably go into hibernation until it gets hot out again, because again, I kind of tend to work on weights of yarn based on the season. So in the summer I use fingering weight, in the fall I like a DK, you know, winter is a little chunky, and then I work my way back to summer. Whip number 3 was a little out of season for me, but knit collage is just a fat yarn. So this is what I am calling my flash dance tee. Let's see, can you see it? I'm in my chair leaning back. So I just kind of free knit this, and I have to sew up the sides here. And it's a very strange pattern I had in my head. I'm sure someone has designed something like this before, but in my head, I thought I could cast on at the bottom without the ribbing. I did a provisional cast on. I knit all the way up, just a rectangle. And then when I got to this neckline, here, I knit like, I don't remember how many, let's say 9. I bound off 20, and I knit another 9. And then when I went to the next row, I again knit the 9. I cast on a new 20, and I knit another 9, and it created this neck hole. Now, you see how the back is a little higher than the front? That's because when I went down the front, because I had knit up the back and down the front, I made the front a little bit shorter so that instead of the midpoint being where they were like the same, it would roll it forward a little bit. So it'd sit up a little higher, and it did that without short rows. And I thought, I just want something that kind of falls off the shoulder, but isn't like down here, but just like kind of up here, like a boat neck, something to like throw on. And so I did this. This was my idea, and it's really cute and bulky. I don't know if I'm going to put like a sleeve on it or not. I may just put a tiny sleeve on it, but I actually really like it without the sleeve, and I think it's going to block like a little bit bigger. So I'm going to leave like a big armhole when I seam up the side. One thing that I did mess up on though is I did a decrease row here. So what I did at the end is I had, you know, the provisional cast on. I took my live stitches and I took the provisional cast on out, and I put it all in on one needle and then just knit a couple rows of knit together, which cinched it together at the waist. And then I did like a knit 4 K2 tog, knit 4 K2 tog. I figured it out like based on my stitches that I knit on. And it's a little bit, because I knit it a little bit too long. I wanted it up higher, but I knit it a little bit long, so it's kind of tight over my tush. So I may pick this out, leave that cinch, but then instead of doing the ribbing in the round, I may just do the ribbing on the front back and forth, and then the ribbing on the back and forth, like an inch or 2 longer. So it looks like I cinched it with the knitting, but then I leave 2 flaps. So I'll have like a cinched area like here, but then the flaps here on the sides will be open. It'll be like a V where, like, you know, it's a little bit longer in the back, like a tail. So I think I'm going to do that. Before that, I'm like, you know, I just have to seam up the sides, which is so easy. You just turn it. I mean, knit collage is great because you literally, like, I left this really long tail and I'm just going to turn it inside out and just go do. Like, nothing fancy, no mattress stitch, nothing. I'm just going to seam it up. You know, it's just for my own use. So anyway, that is and I don't know if there are any patterns that are that name. So if there are, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to steal anyone's thunder. It's just for me, anything that goes off the shoulders is like, you know, you're a maniac, you know, like Flashdance is excellent. So I'm giving Jennifer Beals vibes. But this is knit collage. It's in the Spun Cloud, and I can't say enough wonderful things about knit collage. I love it. I do feel like I'm the type of person that doesn't like the real tight knit sweaters that sometimes they make. I love the way they look. I love it. But for me, comfort wise, I'm more of a bohemian. I like my like real flowy things. And so I thought this would be really cool. Like a really big sweater just hanging off the shoulder. I may make one in cream. And so that is my Flashdance sweater. So that is a work in progress. So I don't know if you guys follow Knitted Wit or Shannon Squire. I believe they work together on Knitted Wit. I could be absolutely wrong. I should have looked up more things before I podcast. But Shannon Squire has a pattern called Persistence. And it is based on our wonderful Senator Warren of Massachusetts. This is using the Persistence pattern to make a shawl. She has a shawl and a scarf, and it's basically the same. It's just different widths. And I love it. I absolutely love it. It's a great pattern. It's really intuitive. It's fun to knit. It's got enough like going on where it's not boring, but you can knit it while you're watching TV because it's really simple. It's like, you know, this, then 5 of this, then do this in the middle, then 5 of this. It's like symmetrical. You can check if you made a mistake because you'll see it. You know me, I have stitch markers every quadrant. They're right there. You can't really see them, but see, I put stitch markers every lace quadrant so that if it isn't 15 stitches in between, I know I did something wrong. And I had this Hedgehog Fibers sock yarn, which if you guys know Hedgehog Fibers, like I love Hedgehog Fibers, but their sock yarn is very, very splitty. I don't make socks, so I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And I had originally bought these 5 colors to make one of their outlined shawls, which is a free pattern on hedgehogfibers.com, which you should check out because there are a lot of free patterns there that go really great with their yarns. And I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And I was like, I really like this color family. Now, it looks a little crazy right now because, you know, but when it's a really long, like, it's going to be like a really long squishy scarf that like kind of, you know, hangs down. And I love this color Swamp. I love it. And I've had it, no joke, I think since 2017. I've had this yarn. So I was like, I really need to use it. And then, of course, I decided to buy other colors that are comparable to it. So that'll go in there. It's a little bit of rust. This is their color Guppy. That'll go in there. And what my deal is that start with the green. Here's a pink that has some green in it. Here's a white that has some pink in it. Here's a brown because there was some brown in this. So there's a brown there. Here's a color that has this color in it. So it's basically like every color builds upon itself based on speckles. That's kind of like a speckle progression, if you will. But the only thing I modified from this pattern was that I put a row, when I finished the green, I put a row of knit back and forth. So you get this ridge. And then when I started the pink, I put a row of knit back and forth. So in between all of the colors, it kind of separates them. So if you can see that. And I really like that look. So instead of it just being like one big long of the same pattern, it has these ridges that separate each color quadrant. I don't know if they're quadrants. I don't know what. But yeah, so I have like a whole bag full of yarn here that I'm just staring at, and you know, a whole bunch of like sock yarns and this and that. And this pattern is meant to be DK, so I just held the sock yarn double. And I think you can marl it. You can do it where you drop one color and, you know, then put the next two together and then drop one and put a new color in, you know, and it's really, it leaves a lot of room for possibilities. You can decide what you want and make something. Like, this is one of those patterns you can like leave in the glove compartment of your car in case you get stuck in traffic, because it's so simple. You can put it down in the middle. When you pick it up, you know exactly where you are, because the back is just knit 3, purl, knit 3. It's not, you know, in the front is just the quadrants of 15 and however many you want to cast on, right? So, I mean, I did what, 4 or 5 here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and then the ends are basically just half, you know? So I love it. I really love it. It's Shannon Squire Patterns. It's called the Persistence Shawl, and I highly recommend it. I'm going to go into my next whip, and you'll see that I'm using the same pattern for this whip, which, here it is. And let's take a brief intermission to push someone who is not our sponsor. These are bags by Seed and Sprout. Seed and Sprout is an eco company in Australia that I spend way too much money on shipping for, and I order all of these canvas bags, and I love them. They are probably something I could get by another brand in America, but I just really, really like these bags. And so here's one. A Seed and Sprout big bag, and they're meant to be bags that you take to like the farmer's market. Inside, instead of having pouches, the whole rim is like 5-inch pouches. It's like a rim. So if you have like a jar of sauce and a thing of flowers and a this and that, they won't clank. They'll stay around the rim, and then you just put like your produce in the middle. And when I did go to the supermarket, I loved them. They were humongous. They fit everything, and I bought a whole slew of them in all different sizes. And that's what I use. So I was like trying to figure out what to do with this. And this is one of their little market totes where you would put like produce. And it's great as a project bag. Now, I have a pile of project bags over there. And for some reason, I'm really enjoying these bags right now. It's just what I love. But I love buying project bags from people who make gorgeous project bags. So I'm just trying to like not buy anything new, even though I got those from fucking Australia. So anyway, okay, now back to our regularly scheduled programming. This is my whip using, again, the pattern from Persistence. And I'm making a baby blanket for one of my best friends who is pregnant, and I'm so excited. The baby, you know, fingers crossed always, will be here around the new year, and it has not been an easy road for her. As a lot of you know, it is a very, very gut-wrenching thing when things don't just happen the way you think they're going to, and we're on a good road right now, and I'm so very happy for her. I am just madly... It's okay to say you're in love with your friends, right? I am madly in love with my friend Kate. I love her to pieces, and I'm so very happy that she and Isaac are going to be welcoming this baby girl, and I have womb named her Vivienne. So I call her Viv. And this blanket is going to be for Viv. And as you can see, it is the same pattern, but with a thicker yarn as the Persistence. And this yarn is from We Are Knitters, Happiness in a Kit. I bought this years ago, and it's not like Vivienne was not worth brand new yarn, but you know, when you order yarn online, sometimes it doesn't come exactly as you want it to be. And this, while I should be using acrylic for a baby blanket, I just wanted her to have something really nice to be wrapped in that's super soft, and so I'm using the We Are Knitters Merry Wool. It's kind of like a worsted weight, maybe a little bit more. So I'm knitting it with a size 10 needle, and I love it. This color, I don't remember this colorway name. Sprinkle Pink, which it has navy blue in it also. And it kind of like runs in places, which is great because then if I, you know, I'm going to wet block it, I'm going to steam block it, I think. And, you know, if she has to wash it, she has to wash it. I mean, I told my friend Kate, I'm really sorry, but, you know, with the hand knits, it's just better to put them in the sink with a little bit of Woolite, and that's it. And if you want, you just put them in a pile, and I will wash them for you. But I had bought, like, these kits. Sometimes they give you discounts with We Are Knitters if you buy, like, sweater quantities. So I had bought 10 balls of it once. It was like in the middle of the night. Do you guys ever like do that? Buy yarn in the middle of the night and you wake up and you're like, oh my God, it's like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning and I've already spent $250. Like, do you guys ever do that? Yeah, that's how cuckoo I am. And so anyway, I had this wool and I thought it would just be something really festive for a baby. I like the cream color, even though I'm sure when she pukes on it, well, maybe it'll just blend in. Maybe I'll dye it green at some point. But right now, it's just really, really soft. And I don't know when I'm going to stop because it's kind of getting long. But I made it really wide. Because, you know, we make things for people that are having babies. And in 10 minutes, the baby has grown out of them. And that's not fun. So I thought she's making a blanket for the baby. I think my mom is making a blanket for the baby. My mom made her the cutest little lace hat. And so, you know, it's good to have a bunch of different things. That's one thing I learned about being a mom when I had my kids was have a pile of things ready. Like have a pile of onesies. Don't just bring one change of clothes. Bring 7 because you don't know what's going to happen. I wouldn't leave the house without like 15 diapers for Franny. Like what happens if we got like stranded on the side of the road? Like, you know, am I supposed to let her like shit on herself? No. So I, you know, always had abundances of everything. And I loved Burt's Bees organic for the babies. I had piles of onesies. I mean, my mom and I, once we were like, we didn't know that when the diaper starts, you know, the poop starts going up their back. We didn't know that meant that you need a bigger diaper. And, poor Franny, we cut so many things off her. We just would like, no, I'm cutting it up the front and like turn the baby over, blah, blah, yuck. Okay, so anyway, always good to have an abundance of blankets, and I hope that she'll be able to like wrap this around her and be nice and comfortable. And I really do like the way it looks like sprinkles. So that is like my current whip. That's really what I'm working on right now. It's just a comfortable knit. I do it when I'm watching my newest obsession, which is sewing tutorials. And so I will get to that in a second. Let's see. Okay, we did all that. Cool. We're trucking. I'm back into the groove here. I'm back into it. Okay, so why won't this work? Come on, notebook. Okay. FOs. I have an FO that's like kind of not an FO. I don't even remember the name of this shawl, and I feel really bad. I should have had everything ready. I will put it here in the down bar. This is a knit collage pattern. And I just, you know, I buy so much knit collage. I can't. When Amy or Vanessa puts it up there, it just like, I get this like, starry eyes thing. I have such a pile over there that I bet I could stuff a mattress with it and sleep on it. Probably. You know, like, you know, the Corleone family, they went to the mattresses and I would stuff mine with yarn instead of money. Maybe. So anyway, this is the pattern. It's supposed to be, I haven't blocked it yet. You see the really cool, like, looking like collections of stitches that it makes? This is the Sister yarn by Knit Collage. It's kind of like their Spun Cloud, but it doesn't have the stellina around it. It's basically almost like, I wish I had some right here. It's basically like roving. If you really had to, it's like roving that's just been like, you know, spun. And it's really thin in places and really fat in places. And it's beautiful. And I had 2 balls of it. One of the balls was not spun as thin to thick. One of them was, it was just a little bit more uniform. So when I went to add the second ball, it didn't have the same stitch definition as this. So I was like, I'll just order another ball of it. And that's fine. But, you know, the Knit Collage shipping and handling think it's like $8. So if you're going to buy one skein, it does add up. So usually when I order knit collage, I will order a plethora, like a lot, which is how I end up with a lot of knit collage. But I was like, okay, well, let me try this. So I had a lot of this, which I believe is their papaya colorway. And the papaya colorway comes with these little, it's like daisy chain. And I love it. I don't think it looks really nice in this pattern, so I may take it off. But I put this really cool tassel on the bottom of it. And, you know, I was wearing it around when it was cold. It was really, really cold still. And I love it. It's really, really cute. Oh, and it's really cute. Maybe I'll leave the yellow. It's so cute, right? So, I'm going to put this in the down bar, what it is. It's this shawl. I think I made it in maybe, well, you know, I have kids, so it takes me longer. I made it in a week. It would probably take you like 2 days. It's so worth it. I love it. I just love it. And I love knitting it. It was on a 19, I think. I wish I had more to say about it. I just really, really like it. It gets really, really thin at the ends here. So I'm not a big fan of shawls when they come to this, like, they had to take like a really long time to get to the point. So I may just like fold it back, and then you have some place to put your hands when your hands get cold. So, you know, you have it around you and your hands are like in like little mitts when you're outside and you're cold. So I may do that. It's very bulky to wear it like how I normally wear my triangles, which is start in the front. Let's see. I feel like this thing is huge. Let's see. I'm trying not to get the fuzz on my lip gloss. Okay, wait. Tuck it under here. Tuck it under. So if you are going to pick out your Christmas tree, put your hair in like a cute little bun, like right on top of your head here, like this. You know, you're cute. You've got this. Your whole neck is exposed because I think you really cannot wear your hair down when you're doing this. But other than that, it's like so cute, right? It's like, I love it. So there you go. And you just put it in your coat and it's like, I love when they're around your neck like this in the winter. I love it. So let's get this off without hitting the knit gloss. All right, let's go. Okay, back to summer. I know you guys are all into your pumpkin spice lattes, and but guys, it is not summer. Like, summer doesn't end till September 20th. It's only like August, like what, 29th? Like, you know, like, cool down, killers. Anyway, we planted a whole bunch of baby pumpkins in this. I have this one raised bed garden that I bought that really was not deep enough to let like tomatoes root and things like that. And the shallow ones are great if you're growing lettuce. So next year I'm going to cover it in like, you know, arugula and some broccoli rabe and stuff like that. But this year, a lot of my garden was on my deck because, again, we were waiting for the driveway guys to come, and I got a shipment of like 75 of those big bags of dirt. It cost $1 bazillion, and then this guy kept pushing it back. I was like, really? I'm not gonna have my garden. So my husband and I have been trying to move them, which is just a comedy of errors to begin with. And so I started to say, like, all right, I gotta use some of them. Like, dirt is reusable. Just mix it with some vermicular next year. And anyway, so I planted those little baby pumpkins, the ones that look like they're in like the gourd bins. They look like pumpkins, but they're like flatter. And I planted 4 plants of them. And they're growing, and they grew pumpkins, and I have them I have them downstairs. And Sammy has one that's like this big, and they're perfectly orange, like they're ripe. So I picked it. And she puts it in her little cup, her little mug, and she's walking around with it. And it's like, oh, crap, my kid is a pumpkin spice latte person. Like, crap, you know? As long as she's not a Republican. She can be whatever she wants. As long as she's not a Republican. I know, I'm losing viewers, but I don't care. I'm sorry. The Republicans are they're like off the hook lately. I can't even talk about it. It makes my anxiety just go nuts. So that's that. My train of thought is really foggy. Maybe it's because I can't see. I went to the eye doctor, and like 4 years ago, I went and got these glasses. I don't know if you guys remember. I used to wear these, like, they were these Gucci glasses I got discount online somewhere because they're floral and, like, no one was paying full price for that shit, right? But they're adorable. And they had originally given me this really, really crazy, like, I'm, like, blind in this eye. And it was just, like, really, really strong. What do they call it? Prescription. I cannot say that word. Prescription. And they made them cut it in half because I, like, couldn't see. It was pulling my eyeball. It was, like, pulling it. And the guy at the eye doctor in the store was like, you have to get your eyes, you know, they're going to have to adjust to these. So give yourself a moment. And I was like, no, this hurts. Like, this isn't just where, like, I'm a little dizzy. Like, this hurts. It feels like someone's pulling my eyeball. Like, behind your eyeball, like that. Like, there was an elastic band. Someone was just... Argh. So I put them away, and I just wore the Gucci ones that were half. And after a while, they just didn't work for me anymore. So a couple of months ago, I was like, all right, let me go to the eye doctor. And this eye doctor is wacko. I love her. She's a pizza bagel just like I am. She's Jewish and Italian. And I love meeting pizza bagels. So she and I just have a great time. She checks my eyes and she says to me, you know, this prescription in the original glasses, these are right. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, they made the glasses wrong. They put, like, something in the wrong spot. So your eye was trying to find where, like, the spot was, and it was pulling your eyeball. They made the glasses wrong. So for 4 years, I've been walking around with these expensive glasses that didn't work for me, so I didn't wear them. I've been walking into things. I've been falling. I've been dizzy. I've been having migraines because they made my glasses wrong. Now, a normal person would have gone back to the store. But after like 2 or 3 times of telling them this isn't working for you and them telling you that you need to get used to it, you walk away. And that's what I did. And finally, I have my new glasses coming this week. And that is just opened up a whole slew of shit because now I'm obsessed with glasses. When I was little, we used to go to Hilton Head in the summer. And I bought these sunglasses. Remember Dwayne Wayne from, like, A Different World? And he had the ones that flipped up. Well, these were glasses that had these little things that went on them to make them sunglasses. And I would take that off, and I would wear the glasses with the clear glass. And I was like, I must have been, like, 10. And my sister, I remember, she was just like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, I like glasses. I just liked glasses. So I have started buying glasses from everywhere to try them on because usually you go into a store, try on a bazillion glasses, whatever. Can't do that right now. I mean, you can if you have any sort of backbone, but I do not. So I've been ordering them. And I get my glasses from like TJ Maxx, from like Gilt.com. They're all returnable. And I just try on a bunch of them. And they're all discounted. I got 2 pairs of Stella McCartney ones the other day. They were originally like $400. I paid $50 for them. I kept one of the pairs. They're great. And then I found these because I lost my Gucci sunglasses. And I sound like such a snob with these names, but I'm telling you, I buy stuff at Nordstrom Rack. I go to like the outlets. I never pay full price for anything. I don't. So I bought these. I've gone full on Mrs. Roper, except for the curly hair. You see my moo-moos, like, right? I love my moo-moos. But I thought I needed sunglasses to go with my moo-moos. Are they big enough? Are they? I'm just asking for a friend. No? Not big enough? Guys, I love big sunglasses. You may not know this about me, but I'm a big, big fan of Jackie O and Audrey Hepburn. And neither one of them had crow's feet. Now, did they? Big sunglasses. I'm a huge fan of Ray-Ban. I ordered a ton of Ray-Ban. They have this new one called State Street. They all came bent. And when I say bent, I mean one arm was like this and the other one was like this. Like bent. So I'm sending that crap back. And then I got these. These are Magooch. This is pure luxury. I mean, it's like velvet. I think Chris Evans has pants this color in velvet. Maybe it's a sign. I do love Chris Evans. He's my celebrity crush. My husband calls him my boyfriend. It's weird. Yeah, it's weird. But hey, you know, we've been stuffed in a house for a really long time. Last August, my husband, not Chris Evans, my husband dared me to watch all of the videos, all the movies in the MCU, and I watched them all in a month. And that's like, I think there were 21 or 22 movies at that point, and I watched them all in a month. I would watch one every night. They're excellent, by the way. The Iron Man ones are the best. The Iron Man ones are the best. I enjoyed the Ant-Man, but the absolute best one is Black Panther. It's absolutely the best one, hands down. I mean, it's just so good. The fact that we lost Chadwick Boseman is just so huge. If you haven't seen the movie, watch the movie. You will understand why people are devastated that this young man died. You will understand. But I digress. I love you, Chris Evans. Anyway, let's get back to some yarny goodness and try to wrap this up here. I'm going to go through some stash acquisitions. We're going to talk about sewing. And if you have to go to the bathroom, now would be a good time. So, okay, we want us to wait? It's okay. Go get something to drink. Okay, it's fine. All right, I have a pink Yeti because I decided to get Yetis that match my lipstick so you don't see the lipstick all over them. This is the new one. I think it's called Prickly Pear, the color. I love it. And I like the one with the handles. Yeah. And there was a new orange, so I sent one to Gigi. It was called like King Crab or something. Crab legs. I love king crab legs. Anyway, okay, so just because I have not been knitting so much and just because I never finish anything does not mean that I stopped buying yarn. And I'm pretty sure that that is not news to you. So let's go into what I got. I am part of the Magpie Society. I don't think I'm going to be doing it for the second year because I like to kind of switch things up and do different brands. But I love Magpie fibers. It is pure luxury. And what is this color? This color is called Tupelo Extra. They have Tupelo Honey, which is like a golden honey color. And then they have Tupelo Extra, which is probably more of the dye. I don't know anything about dyeing. But move over, Glazed Pecan. Move the fuck over. Look at this. And it shines like the top of the Chrysler Building. Yes. So, their DK is a bit thinner, I think. So it's kind of like you could use it for a sport if you needed to. And I kind of want to do the Pomme de Pin cardigan, but it's a cardigan that needs to be seamed together. So that is what is like making me not want to do it. But maybe I should. So I think I want to get a sweater quantity of this. And if you're part of the Magpie Society, what it is every 2 months you get 2 skeins with your membership fee, and they will dye colors that are not available to anyone else. And I joined because of that dark magenta with the browns and the taupe, which I love, and I have to do something with that. I think I have 10 or 12 skeins of that now because I go big or go home, right? But the Tupelo Extra, this is gorgeous. It really is exquisite. And so I think I need to make something beautiful with this. I kind of want to make a sport weight cardigan that's longer, that kind of like covers my tush so I can wear it with jeans and some kick-ass boots and my Gucci sunglasses. And where am I going? I'm not going anywhere. So anyway, a girl can dream. So that is that. That was a stash acquisition, and I'm interviewing it for sweater quantity. Then I had decided that I wanted to do a lot of these really cool shawls. I wanted to do the Stoker shawl by Voolenvine. I just could not figure out a color. I ordered some colors from her that I loved, and then I don't know, I just changed my mind, and her yarn is gorgeous. But it just wasn't right for me for things have to go with your wardrobe or you never wear them. And I don't wear a lot of mauve and things like that, so it didn't go with my wardrobe. But her yarn, second to none. It's gorgeous. But I do love Olan, and so I ordered this. And I've shown you this before, I think. I think I've shown you this before. I don't remember, but I had a couple, and I ordered 2 more. And this, I believe, is the color Damson in Donegal DK. And it's just really cool. It looks very purple on camera, but it's really much more of a raspberry. And that is Olan, Donegal DK. And I ordered this with it, which is Pete. So I think, is Pete poop? Is Pete poop? Well, anyway. I don't know what I've shown you, what I haven't. Have I shown you my cake wool that I got? This is Miss Mary and Lady of Shalott. I think I did show you these, but I love them. Cake wool is... It's one of those yarn companies that came out of left field, right? Like, I wasn't expecting Alyssa to start dyeing, and then she did. And she's great at it. You know, she's really, really great. So check out Cake Wool, really. Then let's go back to Olan. I ordered these colors. Again, I'm trying to interview for this, the boho beats shawl, I believe it is. I don't have my patterns sitting here. I wish I did. I don't know where it is, but I'll put it in the down bar here. It was a shawl that I showed you guys last podcast. It has baubles and fringe, and I really want to make something bohemian. I wanted like an oatmeal color for it or something earthy, but I really can't figure out what I want. So I went on to crossandwoods.com. They're from the Netherlands. And yes, I crazily ordered yarn from the Netherlands, and that is just so crazy because just the like shipping charges alone on these things are like ridiculous. But if you're addicted to yarn and it is a sickness, this is what we do. So I ordered this color from Olan, and this color is called Ursa. I don't know that I love it, but I'm going to try it because it's got a lot of these grays. It's got a lot of these rusty speckles in it. It's like, I think if I hold this together with another, this is sock yarn. So if I hold it together with something either like dark, like a dark charcoal color, and then it'll make a DK weight, and I can knit maybe like a small cropped sweater to go over some of my dresses. And then I can change it to stripe it. I can change it to like holding it with a white color or like an oatmeal color. And you'll be able to see like all of the light and dark progressions of this beautiful yarn being held with a backdrop of either black or white. I just think that will look so cool. And I don't want it to look marled. I want it to look like it's highlighting the speckles of this yarn, but just making it thicker. And so that's why I would choose either the really dark color here. I think Hedgehog Fibers has a color that's comparable to this, and I can order that in either a DK or another sock weight. And Hedgehog Fibers actually has really, and Olan itself, this I ordered from another store, but Olan itself, €6. That's all they want for their shipping charges. Don't ask me why the shipping charges are so different everywhere. I have no idea. But this I may do. I don't know. This is a little yellow for me here, so I don't know. I don't know how it's going to show up. I'm going to have to swatch heavily on it. I ordered 4 of those. And you know, if I don't like it, it will just be something that you guys get in a D-stash, which we will talk about because I'm doing a D-stash. But to end out my stash positions, I wanted to tell you about Chelsea Yarns. And you guys know Christina from Chelsea Yarns and Red Bank Mike, who is her worker. Wait. Excuse me. I'm just going to leave that in. I'm not even editing that out. People sneeze. I ordered a crap ton of yarn from her, and maybe it's because I miss her, or maybe it's because when I go on her website, the yarn comes looking exactly the same. You do not get like a skein that's like an interpretation of it. And I understand indie dyeing must be really difficult to replicate skeins. That must be insanely difficult. And I'll bet you have to deal with a lot of people writing in saying this just doesn't look right. And that does happen, obviously. But with Christina, she nails it. This is exactly what I saw online. So this is Vanilla Bean Latte. The woman must drink a lot of coffee because everything's named after like lattes. This stuff is fun, but not when your kids get a hold of it. So let me just, be forewarned. But it's always a party in the bag when you order. Like, you get all these like teas and things, and I'm sure the Smashmallows are going to start. So if you want Smashmallows, get them now before she buys them out for her advent. Yeah. But look at this. This is Vanilla Bean Latte. And it's browns, and it's like, and the browns didn't even bleed. Like, they look so great, the speckles, and the white is really white, and I just love it. I just love it. And I ordered, I was like, oh, I'll order 4. Oh, maybe I should order 5. Now let's just make it 6. So I ordered 6 of those. Their DK is 6. Is that a DK sweater quantity? I don't know. But I have the Olan DK in the Pete. So I was thinking I'll start the top of the sweater, and if I need it to bottom, I'll put like a bottom on it, like at the cuffs or the bottom of the sweater, you know, over my belly. The problem areas. So I thought I would do that to make a cute little crop for some of the skirts and things that I want to make. And then I ordered some fun stuff because, again, I'm trying to find a yarn for the boho shawl that I want to make, and I think this is going to be the winner. This is... Oh, this is crap. This is Cherry Blossom. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. I mean, look at this. Look at that. Right? Like, she does not disappoint. They all the skeins look relatively the same. I mean, one of them is a lot whiter at one end, but I think it's just the way it was put together, you know. I think I only... So, when one is whiter, I kind of like lay them out, and I will do it in like a fade. So if one of them is whiter, it'll go at the top, and then I get more and more speckly as it goes down. Because the boho shawl that I'm doing is really involved at the top, so it'll look better with less speckles. And then as you go through the patterns that you do through the shawl, as it gets more and more calm and to the fringe, then I will use a lot of the speckles. Because you don't want speckles in something that's like a lot of baubles and this and that. It will just make it too busy. So then I use the whiter skeins, and I use the ones that are darker at the bottom. And it does. You will see it. It does look like a fade, but it's all like the same color. And I just love Christina. I love her. I miss hanging out with her. And then I had to order this because this is called... What does that say? I don't even know what that says. Unruly unicorn? I don't know. I don't know what it says. I'm sorry. Can anyone read that? I don't know what it says. But it's unicorn, and it reminded me of Franny, and it's in, you know, one of the... Is this boucle? Is that what it's considered? And it's fingering weight, but I'm going to hold it double, and I'm going to make her a big puffy hat. And, I mean, look at this. Look at that! Oh, Christina. It's so good. It's so good. So those are my stash acquisitions. I actually have to say, I'm sure that I bought a lot more. I think I bought a shit ton of knit collage. I did, because they had this. They had this, and they never had the ivory. I bought, I think, 8 or 10 skeins of this because I want to make like a bunch of winter sweaters that are like really, really like creamy white, and I love it. So those are in IKEA bags. They're in IKEA bags, like for serious. So those are my stash acquisitions. I actually think that's pretty good. That's like, for me, that's not a lot considering I haven't seen you guys since like March and it's the end of August. That's not so bad, right? I've been buying a lot of things. I bought these Tory Burch knee-high boots. They're not knee-high. They're up to my thighs. They're thigh-high. They are like Pretty Woman, like where she hides the condoms. Like, yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to hide condoms in there. But they're so cool. And they were on sale. Like sale. Because they were final sale. And I don't buy things that are final sale unless they are sale. Because... then I sell them on Poshmark if they don't fit. I actually have a bunch of stuff I'm going to be listing, so you can find me on Poshmark. I'm GemmaDarling on Poshmark also. And I sell like a bunch of stuff that I've hardly used, and it's all in pretty much pristine condition. So if you... and I find great stuff. I used to find great stuff in TJ Maxx and this and that, like Marc Jacobs bags, and I would like... if I don't use them, I'll just list them on TJ Maxx. And by the way, TJ Maxx and Marshalls online, pretty damn good. It's pretty good. I've been buying a lot of like home decor. I've been watching Lone Fox Home on YouTube. Drew Scott is adorable, and he does these beautiful home makeovers, and I go on TJ Maxx and I buy all this shit. I have so much stuff in my garage that needs to be put together. My husband is like losing it. But Yeah, TJ Maxx and Marshalls, you just order a whole bunch of stuff and whatever, like, and they send you the return label in the box. So whatever you don't want, you just put back in the box, slap the label on it, call FedEx for a pickup, which I believe is free because mine have always been free. UPS charges you $11, which is highway frickin' robbery. But FedEx for me, maybe because FedEx is in this area like every day, it was free. And so I just put it on my front porch and it goes out. And that is easy because it's satisfying. I mean, I really want to go to Home Goods though. I need some new rugs and I want to go to Home Goods. And I ordered some rugs on Gilt and they sucked. And so they were final sale and I sent them back anyway. I was like, you're giving me the money back. These suck. And they did. They did. Sometimes you just have to be forceful and be like, this is not what I expected. So I would have been okay with it being final sale if it was what I expected. But if it's not, speak up. Send the shit back. Anyway. All right. So one last thing before I let you go. I'm just so excited to see you guys. I have decided to start sewing. And I know you guys have seen that I've done like little sewing projects at like Urban Society and this and that, but I suck, right? I mean, like, I can hardly sew in like a straight line, but I am going to learn because, you know, this pandemic has really been hard. We've been home a lot, right? And I'm not someone who normally cares about being home, but no one wants to be locked home. I just really miss my Mima, like to the point where I've been like crying about it in the shower, and I haven't really cried about her in a long time. Like, she brings me to tears when I think about her because I miss her so much, but the other day, I let it out. I was in the shower and I was just, because she was my person, you know, like she was, and I say this and it makes no sense. She was who I was before I was me. Does that make like any sense? Like when I think of my grandmother, she knit, she sewed, she was funny, she loved watching TV, she loved eating, like she loved dressing up and doing her makeup. Like she was me. She was who I was about to become. And she was already there. And now I'm going to start crying. But there was just never anything I found about her that I didn't like. She was amazing. Even when we were little, I got this mini cassette recorder. And she's not someone who cursed, and I wanted to catch her cursing. My sister and I hid in her bathtub with the recorder on, and she knew it. She knew we wanted to catch her cursing. We were little, and she came into the bathroom going, where the fuck are the girls? I can't find the fucking girls, just so we could get it on tape of her cursing, and then she heard us giggling. We were dying laughing, and she pulled back the curtain, and here are these two doofuses sitting in there. And she'd be like, oh my God, did you tape me saying that? Like, and you know, she didn't let us curse, but she knew that it would be funny for us. And so she did it. And that is like the zaniness of my grandmother. She looked like, she had the beauty of Elizabeth Taylor. Not even exaggerating. She looked like Elizabeth Taylor. And she had the sense of humor of Lucille Ball. And it made this perfect person. She was my perfect person. And I miss her. And so one of the things I've been trying to do as I get older is realize, like, what do I miss about her? And so, you know, I've been playing with my kids a lot more and, like, you know, but dancing and, like, you know, like singing and doing crazy things that they'll remember. My mom was nuts, but she loved us. And one thing that my grandmother did well was sew. She made gorgeous, gorgeous frocks. Garments, and she used to make all my mom's little 60s trapeze dresses, and my grandfather worked in the embroidery factories in Jersey City. He was a salesman, and he would bring her home these bolts of fabric. When I was little, we used to go into the basement and we'd pick our fabric, and she would teach me how to sew pillows by hand. They were nothing special. I would just cut out a heart, and I would just sit there while I was watching like Magic Garden and sew a pillow. And I was little. I mean, I was like 4, 5, or 6. I was little, but you know, like when you learn needlework as a child, the muscle memory, it sticks with you. You like to do these things. And so I really want to start making dresses. I mean, all of these dresses that I buy, they're just these bohemian dresses with tiers and like, you know, big billowy sleeves with some elastic. They're nothing super special, but people are charging like hundreds of dollars for these freaking dresses. And I'm like, I could make them. But before I go into that, I do want to say I've been buying a lot of them that are on sale, and a lot of them, as I said, are final sale. And that's fine because Poshmark, I just sell them if they don't fit. But if they really, like if I like the way they fit, but they set the sleeves wrong, some of them I buy, they set the sleeves really shitty, and it's pulling across your back. I cut them off now. Like, I don't let it just sit in my closet or try to sell. I cut them off and then I wear them. And there's just these, like, from here down, house dresses. They're beautiful. I'll wear them out with a denim jacket over it. And you just cut it like an inch from where the seam is, fold it back, and run a stitch, right? Nothing difficult. But I have all these sleeves now. This is from one of my spell dresses. It's beautiful fabric. It's beautiful. I want to do something with it. But they set the sleeve so badly on this dress that I've had it for 3 years and I've only worn it once. It pulled so bad. I couldn't even bring my arms up. It was so bad. But how beautiful is the fabric? I mean, it's beautiful. So I've got 2 of these. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I've got 2 of those. I bought this dress by Matt's in New York, and this sleeve was so theatrical. It was like, boom. I was like, okay, I can do theatrics, but not that. So I cut the sleeves off. So here are my sleeves. Again, beautiful fabric. I don't like to throw it away because, like, I'm gonna rip open the seams and see what I can do with it. Maybe I'll make the kids some doll clothes while I'm practicing learning how to sew. This one is by Natalie Martin, and these dresses are expensive, but again, I buy them on clearance, and they're usually 50 to like 60% off, and if I don't like one feature about it, it's not stopping me from buying it. I'm cutting the damn sleeves off. Hashtag cut the sleeves off. So this is that. It's a beautiful silk, and I don't know, even if I make like tiny little scrunchies, you know, scrunchies are coming back, right? I don't know, but I've been saving that and I've been cutting sleeves off, so that's really funny. I'll show you the dresses next time. So I bought this book, The Act of Sewing. Christine, I saw you bought it, so I bought it. And I'm trying to read it. And I'm a more visual person. So I read through that, and I've been understanding it better after watching sewing tutorials on YouTube. And so I find some of the dresses that I want to sew and I buy the patterns, and I'm looking for that now because of course I can't find it. Oh, okay. Oh, here they are. Okay. I have this big ass, like, this is like the biggest clipboard ever. And these are some of the dresses that I want to sew. This one is these zero waist gather dress. And it is by Brigitte Helmerson. And my daughter had her way with the front of it. But you can still see it's just such a basic pattern, right? And it's basically the same as the dresses that I buy. So I was like, I can do this. I can do this. And it tells you how to cut out all of the fabrics, you know, and where to place them. And it's a zero waist dress, which means it tells you by your size, you need 2.5 yards, you need 3 yards. And when you lay them out and you measure all the pieces, because all the pieces are rectangles, it basically tells you like exactly how to lay them out and how to cut it. And you will have zero waist from this dress. And I think that's brilliant. So go Brigitte Helmerson. I think that's freaking brilliant. So I'm going to try that dress. This dress is by Chris Wood Sews. And it's called the Parasol Dress. And this dress, this is the shirt version, but you just make this longer to make the dress. This dress, I've been seeing Shannon Squire, Shannon SQ on Instagram. She makes like 1,000 of these, and they look adorable on her. And they cost her like what? Just a couple yards of fabric? It's fantastic. And so I think I can do it. I think I can do it. I think I can. I think I can. Jacqueline Salem swears by this pattern. What is this called again? The Cami Skirt. So I think I'm going to try that. I may not make a short one because, you know, like I'm in my 40s and I think this ship might have sailed. So I'm going to make a longer one and maybe I'll even add a next tier. But all of those bohemian skirts that I love to like tie knots in and wear around the house, like that is the top that you need for it, right? So I'm going to try that. I think I can. I can. And where am I getting time to do all this? I have no fucking clue. And then this, I wanted this dress and I bought this pattern. And then I saw Mari-Lisa made one and it was gorgeous. Oh my God, it was so gorgeous. This is the Valley dress by Pattern Fantastique. I mean, how can you not buy a dress by a pattern company called Pattern Fantastique? Amazing. amazing. Hashtag Valley Dress, V-A-L-I. Check it out. It's literally the bib with the sleeves and the billowy bottom, and it's got pockets, which is always great. So, I think I'm gonna try that. That one's a little bit more involved. This is the Valley Dress. This is something else. So that's that. I also have a pattern that I had bought from Urban Society where I was supposed to be teaching knitting, but since I'm not well right now. I'm not. Something's going on in my body. I need to figure it out. I can't really drive, so I'm sorry to them, but you guys can still go there and take lots of sewing classes, and they're fantastic. They are open and they are willing, and they even have some online if you want to take a sewing class online. I bought this a long time ago. It's called the Rosco Dress, and that is literally the shape of the dress that I wear, right? And these are by True Bias, and this comes with that tissue paper inside that you used to see like your grandma's dealing with. And let me tell you, last night I took a look at it and trying to get it back in this damn thing. That was fun. But these are the different views that you can do, and I think I'm going to do this one. And I'm going to make it with this. I have no idea what brand this is. Nothing. I don't even think it says it on the selvage. Marisol Ortega for Figo. Figo Fabrics. Figo. F-I-G-O. Which is the same name as my dog's health insurance. Figo. Maybe that's Vigo. I think it's Figo. Anyway, it's like really soft. I don't know what it is. I think it's like a nylon, but it's gonna be really drapey, and it's gonna be really, really Mrs. Roper, and it's gonna go great with my new huge crazy Gucci sunglasses, and I can sit on my deck and not talk to anyone. So there you go. So that I'm going to be working on. And then for the Valley Dress, once I get around to the Valley Dress, I'm going to be using, because I think once I'm good enough to make this dress, I'm going to be using my Rifle Paper Company City Toile in Navy and Cotton Lawn. And it's got gold on like navy, and it's cotton lawn, so it has a little bit of like structure to it, but not stiff like quilting cotton. And I have 4 yards, which I think is exactly what I need. I may need more, but I think this is what I need, so I'm going to have to just, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know. I have a fabric that matches this kind of over there, but it's a different pattern, but it's still, maybe I'll use that for the pockets, and maybe I'll use that for up here or for the like tassels so that I don't have to waste this, but I think it's beautiful. And I love to buy these Rifle Paper Company, you just tell them how many yards you want and they send it to you. And they really do. Their fabrics are really, really nice. They really are. So I'm going to do that in the Valley Dress. This is all wishful. It really is. I'm going to try making one of the more simpler dresses. I've been watching the tutorials on YouTube. So let me just share that with you and then I will let you go. There is a channel called Sewing Therapy. And it really is therapy because she will take these patterns. She doesn't tell you the size of everything. She doesn't tell you how to cut the pieces. So you have to buy the pattern to know what pieces she's using. But I believe it's this woman from Korea. And I believe she doesn't speak English. So when she says something at the beginning and the end of the tutorial, but that's it. There's no talking in it. And she's so beautiful, this woman, that she makes all of these patterns look beautiful, even when she makes them out of something so drab. But she has one for the Valley Dress. I don't know that she has one for the Parasol Dress. She has one for, wait, I wrote this down. The Valley Dress, the Gypsum Skirt, which is this big long skirt with these big pockets, which that's going to be my first thing. The Zero Waist Gather Dress that has like no waist when you do it, and the Parasol Dress. Chris Wood Sews has tutorials on that, and I've watched them all. And I go through this sewing therapy channel and I just watch them while I'm knitting, and it starts to make sense. Like all of the stuff that I read in the patterns that I don't understand because I can't read sewing patterns like I can knitting patterns, she says it on the screen, like what she's doing, and so all of a sudden you understand it. When they say like take the top bodice, turn it inside out, put it inside the skirt and pin the edges so that you can circle around and you can sew it, and then when you turn it outside, the stitch is inside. Like I didn't understand that until I saw her do it. And I think that it has demystified sewing garments for me. So I'm going to try to do this if my kids ever grow up and don't need me for 2 hours at a time. So that's what I'm going to be trying. And I do see a lot of people who love to knit and who are going into different hobbies that are maybe like complementary to knitting. Because, you know, we've been locked away for a really long time. You can only knit so many things, right? So I want to knit some crop tops. I want to make the big skirts. I just want to try. That's all we can do, right? That's all we can do. So that's the end of all my knitting stuff. I have finished everything. Let's see, crafting. I've been doing a little bit of home decor. I don't know if I showed you these. I bought these shelves at TJ Maxx online, right? And I was going to put them in the girls' bathroom as like a towel rack. But then I was like, maybe I can cover these in some knit collage wraps. Maybe I'll make like I-cords with it and cover them in big fluffy knit collage and put them in their rooms as like rainbows. And they can just hang all their jewelry and things and all their funny sunglasses and stuff from it. But as I said, I've been watching this channel on YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube lately. And it's, what's it called? Lone Fox Home. And you watch this young man thrift things, go to IKEA. He turns them into these masterpieces. Some of the stuff I don't like, but you know, like, and he really makes, he just redid this apartment that he's in right now. And it's like this 1920s apartment and it's exquisite. And I'm trying to get my house in order. So we should be getting the basement done for the kids. The basement looks like a dungeon right now. When we moved in, we had to pull asbestos flooring off it. That's how bad it is down there. So once all of their shit is out of my living room, and I say that lightly because I bought them all the shit, but once it's out of my living room, I'm going to start making some videos on how I finish the rooms in my house. And hopefully you'll come along with that. I think it's one of the things that I do like. I'm not going to say that. I say that lightly. You know, I don't like this pandemic. One of the things I've liked that is because of the pandemic is that people are showing more of the inside of their houses. You know, we can't really meet each other everywhere. So we are showing like, this is what my sewing room looks like. This is what my living room looks like. This is where I podcast. Like people are showing their homes and I love that. It makes me feel like I don't just know you through the internet. Like I know you as a friend. And so again, I'm going to start using some of the knit collage in my home decor ideas. If you guys have any ideas, send them along. I think that's it. I could go into politics. Guys, I'm exhausted. I am exhausted. They are gutting the Voting Rights Acts in different states. I mean, the people speaking out against vaccines, what's going on in Afghanistan. I mean, I'm proud that we had a president who said, we've been in this war for 20 years. Nothing good has come from it. We have to get out. I'm glad we have a president with balls that was just like, this has to end. The way it was ended is so scary to watch. But I was watching Bill Maher the other day. And you know, as many people on social media are always ripping America apart, I definitely think that you always question your government. It's the most patriotic thing that you can do. You question it, you make it work for you. We the people, we are in charge. That is the end of it. We are in charge. They're supposed to work for us. But when I see other countries, they're looking at us like, really? You guys think you have it bad over there? Like, we have to remember to count our blessings because almost everyone here has clean drinking water. So I say almost because, yes, there are communities that need to be helped, and that is just utterly disgusting that they still exist. Come on. We have all this money, right? Come on. Clean the fucking pipes. I mean, but for the most part, you can live a good life in America. It doesn't mean we don't have our troubles. It doesn't mean that there aren't people who really need help. It just means that other countries, I think we would be in for a rude awakening if we went to some other countries. I think that there are countries that are running wonderfully, where people are super happy. There are European countries that I would probably love to go to for most of the year. But I'm not going to forget to count my blessings that I'm an American. And that doesn't mean that I think this country's perfect, because again, it is not. But Bill Maher made this point that when we're watching people fleeing from oppression, fleeing from dictatorships, fleeing from these other things where they cannot send their kids to school safely, you know, people like taking small boats to cross oceans to get to us. Like, we have to remember that they come here. They come here. And like, I was watching this one picture was these women were handing their babies to American soldiers. And like, I can't imagine being in such dire straits that I would hand Franny and Sammy to a soldier, knowing that they went into America and were going to be placed with a family and that they were better off than staying with me in a war-torn country. Can you imagine just handing your baby? That's how bad things are in certain places. That these people will just hand their children off in the hopes that their children will have better lives. My point is just that there's a lot of bad stuff happening in this country, and there's a lot of bad stuff happening around the world. And I don't want to tell you to just think about yourself, because I don't think we should. I think bad things happen when we only think about ourselves. But it's okay to see the bad things that are happening, but also count the good things. Let's try to keep things in perspective as we do fight the evil things that are going on. And I absolutely don't think we should rest. I just think we have to keep things in perspective. And that is my 2 cents. So I hope you all are well. I miss you a lot. I'm sorry I'm going to miss the fiber festivals. I'm just not ready. And I will try to podcast more often. I promise, because this is something that I do like. But I am going to take you along on like my gardening journey and on different journeys, sewing journeys, home decor journeys. And so I hope you will come along with all of that. As always, please leave comments. I love talking to you in the comments section. Leave your negativity at home. If you don't agree with my politics, there are other podcasts that you can subscribe to. So please, no negativity in the comments. Okay, everyone? I hope you are happy. I hope you are healthy. I hope your families are healthy. And I hope you are knitting up a storm. Okay? Love you all. Bye.